The Florida Freedivers Hawaiian Sea Slinger is a sling that we've carried for many years, and it's a really cool product. The nice thing about this guy is you've got two different options, not just color options, but two different functionalities.
Exactly.
So you've got the floating sling, which is the gray one. What makes this guy float is the inside of this guy is actually made out of like a honeycomb. So there's little tiny air pockets inside of there. So if you were to cut it open, that's how it makes it float. And why people like the floating sling versus the sinking sling is when you are fighting your fish on the bottom and you let go of this, it's going to go to the surface. Now, in current, right, if you have like a lot of moving water, that's not always a great option because the sling can then get taken away. What I like to do with my floating slings is I put them on my arm, and that way they float up out of my way, so my hands are free and clear to move and do whatever I need.
And now we have the black sinking sea slinger. I particularly like this one a little bit better than the floating slings. I like sinking slings better than the floating ones. And the main reason is because I'm mostly shooting slings in the Bahamas. And like you were saying, if you're fighting a fish on the bottom, whether it's in a rock or whatnot, if you let go of it, the floating ones, they'll float to the surface, and obviously your buddies will see it and will grab it for you, or you can slide it in.
Grab it for
Hopefully,
you,
yeah, exactly. But see, that's what I'm getting into, hopefully. What I like to do is, if I'm fighting a fish, I'll grab my sling and put it on the bottom right there. It's not going anywhere. I can fight my fish, bring it to the surface, throw it in the boat, and whether one of my buddies does or I go back, the sling is sitting right where it was, right where I left it. And yeah, but the one downside to it, if you do for some reason like not have a shaft in it or something in the water, or if you're just sitting on the surface with it, if you do let it go, it is kind of inconvenient to have to go down all the way down the bottom and get it if you dropped it on accident. So there's pros and cons to each sling in different conditions, obviously, like you were saying with the current. The floating ones could have floated away. That's where kind of the sinking ones shine. They won't go anywhere. But so I prefer the black sinking slings as opposed to the gray floating ones. And the main reason is when I'm fighting fish on the bottom while it's in a hole or a cave, I can just put my sling kind of right next to me on the bottom and it won't go anywhere. And you don't have to worry about having it float away or losing it. You can go up to the surface, throw your fish in the boat, go down, grab it, and you're good to go.
Right back in the same spot, grab your sling and keep going.
Exactly.
So these are the two Florida Freedivers Sea Slinger slings. That's a lot to say. And check them out on our website. You've got the floating version, which is the gray, and the sinking version, which is in the black.